Hello, welcome to the Von Hile house. This is a conservatory. I'm afraid some of the rooms are closed for refurbishment. We can't allow public access today. We have a resident ghost in the stately home. You come into the shower room. You might be, sometimes you're lucky enough to be able to hear her. If we come through the conservatory, you'll see some of the ancestors of Adelhide. This is Baron von Heidster here. I'm afraid some of the pieces are under restoration, and so this wonderful piece of confectionery in stone is actually being prepared for transit and restoration. However, if you come through, you'll see the main gallery here. Adelhide was a great collector of paintings. You might recognise some of your favourite elements within this wall here. These are the commemorative royal spoons. And underneath here is the Curiositaten cabinet, which is a very interesting hybrid piece of furniture. I'm afraid we can't see that today, but what we can see is a replica of one of our most precious pieces, which is a 40,000-year-old little figurine. And this is a Victoriana that's taken from Adelhide's first book, Dark Tales for Little Children. And if you look closely, you'll see some of her imaginative interventions. Here we are in the Long Gallery, and this is a series called Amnesia that Adelhide created while she was undergoing intense psychotherapy with Dr. Hannah Siegel in Vienna in 1963. This is Adelhide's dressing room. There's a kind of forensic feel to some of this because the objects are curiously numbered, and it's interesting to reflect on whether they synchronise with the drawings and what you might be able to gather from that information. This room has not been seen for many, many years. Here we are in the main room, the drawing room. This was Adelhide's first doll. And this is all that's left of the famous Adelhide automaton. Adelhide was a great traveller, as you can see from one of these family heirlooms that was brought back. Here we see Adelhide herself and her extensive book collection. There's been some disturbance in this room, we think. This was found like this morning. We don't know how it happened. The only presence in this room was the Adelhide doll that was made in her image. This is old footage of Adelhide when she first came to England from Germany. She was made very conscious of her German identity after the war. She had very, very long plaits. After she experienced the hostility on the streets of England, being a young German girl, she demanded that her mother cut off her plaits, in effect cutting off her German identity. And this was evidently a very painful experience for her. But also liberating, because she could recreate herself reinvent herself. So this film documents that early narrative of her life. We had the private view last night. I had probably about 70 odd people passing through my house. My whole concept was to erase the personal and the domestic and transform the whole space into a contemporary art installation. So I was kind of living and working in this space for, I guess, 6 days. So it was pretty overwhelming to have a house full of people last night. But it was the appreciation was fantastic, and people seemed to. There was an overwhelmingly female audience here last night. I can't tell quite why that is, but people very much connected with the work, and so this sort of all this work and transformation felt very powerful.